Hello and welcome to Workhorse Wrestling Network. You are gathered with us tonight for the Cookout Podcast, where we talk about what's cooking up in the world of professional wrestling.
Yes. Thank you again for joining us on Tuesdays. As always, we are here. It's myself, Sammy Joe. CM and Nika should be coming soon. And we do have a special guest with us tonight. He's going to play Wrestling IQ, which we're going to do in a little bit. We're going to try to wait for Nika. She should be here, hopefully, in a little bit here. So hopefully Chase isn't in a hurry, but we're going to bring him on. It's your boy and our boy, Chase Oliver. What's up, sir?
Nothing much, man. Just another Tuesday.
Another Tuesday. So, Anika, what I was hoping was Anika would be here. Well, when she gets here, it'll be you versus Sammy versus Anika. She's running a little late. She said she might not be here till like 8 o'clock West Coast time. So, hopefully, you're not in a major rush. If you are,
No,
it is what it
not
is.
in a
We'll make it work.
rush.
In the meantime, CM's gonna start us off with her weekly clown and or clowns of the week. And that always spurs a little conversation. So
As
go ahead,
usual,
TM.
ladies
Let us
and
know.
gentlemen,
Oh,
as usual, we start off with Punk Assfield because it's a week and it's a day that ends in day. Punkfield. And most everything he stands for. That's one. Two is for the people who get mad about wrestling in AEW, but then get mad about the lack of wrestling in WWE. Because it's like, how are you mad there's too much wrestling and no wrestling? Pick a
so
side.
listen, just before we move on from that, because I could be a victim of some of that, right? There's a fine line. Like I love really, really good wrestling. At the same time, when it's really good match after really good match after really good match after really good, and there's no chance to breathe. And I'm not saying I need a bad match, but like it's every match is like where you feel like you're almost like, whoa, that match is better than that match was match tonight. It's almost a little too much, which sometimes I feel sometimes with AEW pay-per-views. And I think that's just because there's too many matches on the card. I'm not saying they need to have bad matches. I'm saying less than 10 matches on a card. I'm saying like 5 or 6 matches on the card, and not near as many video packages as WWE likes to do because their pay-per-views are like half video packages, but just a little bit of breathing, a little bit more, just I don't know, just a little bit something. It feels like they're too.
You have Chris Jericho.
That's
What
true.
else do
You
you
did have
want?
Chris Jericho. You did. That's true. But 5 of the 6 guys in that match are really good, so you don't want to miss those 5. It's just Jericho that sucks.
Chris Jericho is going to take up half the match with his antics, and then the really talented people will have the other half. Duh, y'all haven't figured this out yet. Yeah, come on now. And last but not least, the people who don't seem to understand what independent contracting is when it comes to Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks, and who think that it is great to dunk on her for saying she wanted to do acting. She took the opportunity. WWE tried to block the opportunity, like they have been prone to do. And then getting mad at her for standing up for herself about those opportunities. I've never seen anything like it.
If memory serves, they did that to Dave Bautista and CM Punk.
Worse than that. They've been doing worse than they did to those two to her. They did worse than John Cena. They treated her. They're treating her worse than John Cena right now. Saying that she doesn't want to wrestle, her mental health breaks worse so she could go acting, and she's a liar. That she went to AEW so she could be an actress, and she's not talented. She sucks. She deserved everything Vince did to her. What else have they been saying? I don't think I've seen so much hate for a single person that's not like famous. Not wrestling famous, but like, I don't want to say actually famous. That just seems kind of rude. but more well known. That's not like Justin Timberlake. There we go. They're all of the age that we can from that.
She definitely seems like one of the most polarizing figures in wrestling when it really feels like she shouldn't be. Like she gets a lot of vehement love and a lot of vehement hate, and it's like hard to find in between with her.
Yeah, I don't think that I've ever really. It's disturbing on a lot of levels. I'm starting to feel like people might have like voodoo dolls or shrines to her right now. And it's kind of scary. It's very scary. But yes.
Meanwhile, she had an amazing match. So for all those that say she can't wrestle, the fucking match was amazing at Forbidden Door. So
did y'all see Stephanie McCoy when she had her hair like over her face? Mercedes had her in what's that submission? And she's like looking straight at the camera, and it looks like something out of a horror movie. It's towards the end of the match, but that was one of the best wrestling shots ever. And Stephanie McCoy put on a show. I need to follow her on all those things CMLL right now, because that woman put on a show.
Yeah, I thought they killed it. I mean, it wasn't the best match of the night. That was Swerve and Ospreay, but I thought they killed it. I mean, it was one of the better matches of the night, in my opinion. Chase, Sammy, what do you guys think? I mean, you guys got any comments?
At the moment that the match came on, it was my match of the night, but yeah, that changed twice later in the night.
Chase, what do you think about Forbidden Door? Any comments on Mercedes? Any comments on the pay-per-view in general? Anything CM said?
Solid show was Forbidden Door. I thought it was very solid from an AEW standpoint. Mercedes and Stephanie were great. It felt like Stephanie was just like a step ahead of Mercedes, which was really impressive because Mercedes is one of the best pure in-ring workers. So seeing like someone like Stephanie McCoy, like just being like a step ahead of her was really impressive. She actually was like one of my MVP wrestlers of that night. But yeah, I enjoyed Forbidden Door. Danielson and Shingo was a great match. Naito, if we're doing a clown of the week, he's my clown of the week because he showed up out of shape for another American show, and this is supposed to be New Japan's last top star. They don't really have any more top stars. All of them left the company or are the president of the company now. And Naito, and the reason why I'm disappointed in Naito is because he's had better matches with Moxley before. This is not a Naito can't wrestle with Moxley issue. This was clearly Naito treating this show like it's a joke issue, and he should not, because Forbidden Door is a very important show for New Japan Pro Wrestling. It's probably the United States show that gets the most eyeballs. And in fact, when it comes to the AEW shows in terms of attendance, it's one of AEW's most successful shows. The last three have broke $1 million gates. So that should go to show you how many people actually go to this show compared to other all elite wrestling shows. And also with this show, I don't even think they were fully sold out, and they still got $1 million gate, which is really good. So I don't know, to me, you got to put your best foot forward for this show. And I don't know who needs to tell him this. Like, I'm sure he's going to be fine. I'm sure once G1 hits, people are going to be like, oh, why were you? I'm more bitching at the fact that, Naito, you are the representative of New Japan. You are the star of New Japan. That's like if John Cena showed up, like, in his heyday, and then, like, he stunk up a joint. And then that was supposed to be and it's funny, too, Naito doing this. It reminds me how he was pissed at Jeff Hardy all those years ago when Jeff Hardy showed up out of shape for Wrestle Kingdom and put on a horrible performance with Naito, and he said, oh, TNA should be disgraced sending this guy over. And it's like, dude, you do the same shit for a lot of the American shows. And, All Elite Wrestling, whether they like it or not, is the number 2 wrestling promotion in America. It's not New Japan Pro Wrestling. And if you want Americans to watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, you, as the face of New Japan, did not do yourself any service by the way you wrestled that night. And that's why it was the worst match I've seen that week. And honestly, it's one of the worst matches I've seen this year. I know a lot of people are going to say, whoa, that's crazy, Che. I'm like, no, it's a world title match. It's an important world title match. It's a world title match on a pay-per-view that, is a very successful year in and year out. It's AEW's not including the stadium show. It's probably AEW's most impactful pay-per-view every year. So yeah, like that's why he's like, yeah, that's my own thoughts. But now the main event was really
So let
cool.
me ask you a quick question, because a lot of people are talking about, you've implied that he just didn't take it serious. Where a lot of people I've heard have said that he's past being able to take it serious. Sammy says physically he just can't do what he used to do, and I've heard that from other people. So do you think that he doesn't care, or that he's
for the US show he didn't care? Because the thing is, if you go back and watch other matches with Mox, there's a little bit of effort in there. This one, there was no fucking effort. He was not even doing a semblance of an effort compared to the other matches with Mox. Like, yeah, no, Naito's past his physical prime. Like, he's not the same guy he was 2 years ago. You know, he's definitely slowed down a tick. But this one was just atrocious because, like, the match at Dominion, if you watch their match at Dominion, it's just a night and day difference. Like, you'll sit there, you're like, oh shit, this is the difference like between these two wrestlers and stuff. So Naito and Mox can put on better matches. That's the thing. It's just that for whatever reason, Naito, when he's in the US, this is the effort that he puts in.
Do you have someone who you think would have been better for that match?
No, well, sadly, they don't have anyone in New Japan. They haven't built up anyone. They haven't built up Tsuji. They haven't built up Shota. They haven't built up anyone worth it for to beat Mox.
But the story with Shota is there. It's there. That story is there.
The problem is it's not there for the Japanese fans. The Japanese fans don't care about Shota like that.
Yeah, but we're on American terms. And
but
he's pretty good.
That's a Japanese title. It's not an American title. It's a Japanese title.
I had it built up in my head of what they could have done. I was thinking that he was going to attack Red Shoes, and it would add to more dispute between the two of them leading into Wrestle Kingdom this year, where I thought that Shooter would have won the title off of Moxley. That's what I was thinking everything was going to lead to, Wrestle Kingdom. And I was clearly mistaken.
I would have rather see Takeshita. I need New Japan to build up these young guys because that's all they have left. And even that some of them are getting poached. So something's got to give in soon.
Yep. Okay. So.
Oh, but Chase, hold on. Chase was saying about the main event.
Oh.
What was your opinion on that main event?
I thought it was a great match. One of the best matches between two, I want to say homegrown AEW stars. One was from WWE, one was from New Japan. But two stars that AEW is definitely invested in. I don't like the report that came out, that Will Ospreay decided to say, oh, no, I don't want Swerve to feel like a placeholder, because I don't think Swerve Strickland is a placeholder, and I don't think anyone should be putting out there that the world champion ever felt like a placeholder. And for Tony Khan to agree that Swerve was a placeholder sounds absolutely ridiculous. Like, I don't know if he did agree in that sense, but what I'm trying to say is I don't like the report that came out. That did not need to come out. Like, I get it, Ospreay was looking out for his buddy Swerve, but if you ask Swerve Strickland, I'm pretty sure Swerve Strickland was saying, I was no motherfucking placeholder. I never felt like Will Ospreay was ever going to take my place. I always felt, no matter what, if it was at Forbidden Door or at Wembley, I'm beating this motherfucker, because that's the type of guy Swerve Strickland is. And so I was not a fan of that, but I did love the match, and I thought that he did a great job at making Swerve feel like the main character in AEW as the world heavyweight champion. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, after that report, it just kind of it took it away a little bit for me, because I was just like I get where Ospreay was looking at it from, but if I was a man and I was a world champion, when you hold that belt, you never feel like a placeholder. You are the fucking man. Does Damian Priest feel like a placeholder as the world? No, if you told Damian Priest, if Gunther went up to Triple H, was like, Hunter, I think it's about if Damian beats me, so he doesn't feel like a placeholder. Damian Priest is going to be like, hey, Benito, I was never no placeholder. I'm the world champ. He's going to say he's the world champ. You feel like the world champ. You can't be like someone that's saying, oh, I'm a play. Like, no one that holds a world title ever feels like a placeholder. And I don't, and someone called Swerve that. Like, I don't want to say Ospreay called him that or anything like that. So they used the term in the report placeholder. That is ridiculous to use as a 4-year world champion. And especially if you're Tony Khan, that Will Ospreay had to like convince you to like no, that's not how it works and stuff. If anything, it's for some people that may hurt the guy a little bit, but I still like Swerve. But when I read that report, it kind of took away a little bit from that match because I was like, wow, that match did a great job because Ospreay always felt like, you know, the golden goose, the baby, the chosen one per se from AEW standpoints, to now like Swerve beats him and now Swerve feels like the chosen one. And then there's a whole report that Ospreay said, "Oh, I'm going to actually help Swerve. I'm going to put Swerve over, brother." Like, bro, you're not the world champion. You shouldn't be the one saying who to put over.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
I can tell you part of where that comes from. Is some of these online forums, especially for like Black fans who want to criticize AEW and Tony Khan's booking because they are infatuated with Triple H and his booking, and they believe Triple H can do no wrong. And they are like, oh, Swerve hasn't been booked as a champion. I'm looking at it as, even with the report that came out, Will Ospreay almost cheated to beat Swerve. That wasn't a thing for Swerve. He just went in there straight up. I thought at one point he took out Will Ospreay. I don't like Swerve as a person. That was one of the best AEW champions that I've seen. But it's a small group who are saying things and then they're intentionally putting things out there, and it's annoying. Like, for the love of God, just let wrestling happen. Like, shit. We finally getting good wrestling, y'all, that we don't have to pay for every week.
It's always a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you say in the article you don't want Swerve to be a placeholder, but by mentioning it, you already put in people's mind, oh shit, was he a placeholder? Like, if you never mention it, a lot of people probably don't ever have that thought. I mean, some do, I'm sure, but a lot of people probably don't ever. And it also feels slightly disingenuous from Will Ospreay, who's considered the best wrestler on the planet. It's like, well, I chose to. It was my decision to let Swerve get over. Whereas, you know, if it was really up to it, I would have won. Like, you know, he doesn't say that, but that's how it feels a little bit. Like, I'm going to remind Swerve that really this was my decision to let you win, as opposed to. So I don't know. I agree a little bit with Chase that I thought that the little report afterwards took away from it, which is unfortunate because I really like Will Ospreay. And I don't necessarily think he was doing anything malicious, but I can see how it came off that way. At least I hope he's not doing anything malicious. I mean, he's a smart dude, so I mean. You know, I mean, I'm hoping that he can grasp it as well. He just didn't in the moment, and he's aware now kind of what he's done, but I don't know what the report did, you know, but who knows? Who knows? Let's see. We're still waiting on Anika. I'm hoping she'll be here anytime. What else? Sorry. I know this is really bad. I apologize.
Pause.
Go ahead.
If Penta versus Mystico happens in CMLL, who do y'all think is going to win that one?
Oh, it's Mystico. He's the biggest draw in Spanish history.
Chase. Let me lie to myself. For once. I need that match. But I want to lie to myself and say Penta might win because then I won't feel as bad watching it when it comes on, probably way beyond my bedtime.
You know, we haven't talked about this, but Mystico has really had one of the career comebacks. This guy was Sin Cara for the longest time, got replaced by the original Mystico, and the guy Mystico stole Hunico's name, and you know, got replaced by Hunico. But you know, he's really had a great comeback in professional wrestling. Very, very proud as someone who used to watch a lot of Mystico tapes as a young lad, because he was one of the biggest draws. I was hyped on the Sin Cara signing by WWE long time ago, and who would have thought someone that can't speak English and doesn't know how to wrestle on the right side of the ring, because you guys don't know the Mexican style, lucha style, they wrestle on the left side. So yeah, it's a hard transition. That's why Del Rio it took him a while, but
That might be, he might be WWE's biggest fumble.
oh no, I tell people he's the reason why Triple H started the Performance Center. 100%. There's a reason why Triple H started the Performance Center. That was Triple H. People forget that was Triple H's first big signee as like a talent relations guy. He literally went to hell and back for Mystico and convinced Vince on him. Was showing that his mask numbers are going to sell. He's going to be like the next Rey Mysterio. They were really trying their best to get Mystico going. And ever since he fumbled, it was kind of funny that, like a lot of the times, a lot of top indie guys, why they wouldn't want to go to WWE was because they were saying, oh, you have to go to FCW. You have to go to that, our developmental NXT brand we just rebranded. And they didn't want to. And I told people because it had to because of Mystico. It was what happened with Mystico. They never want happening again where they hype up a guy, they bring someone in. I mean, there's certain guys that understand and get the style that can always bypass NXT and stuff. And obviously nowadays, I think Triple H is more laxed on that. But for sure, the longest time, and I truly believe why they spend a lot of money on the Performance Center is because you guys got to remember, they signed a bunch of people to work with Mystico. They signed a bunch of people that never made it onto the main roster in FCW. Like Epico should be thanking Mystico for all those years in the WWE because they really only signed Epico to work with Mystico. Same with Hunico. Hunico was only really signed because they needed someone to work with Mystico. Like they signed at least like 5 or 6 Lucha guys to make sure that Mystico, when he came to the main roster, he was set and ready to go. And where did those Lucha guys wrestle? Most of them wrestled in FCW. And who skipped FCW? Mystico. So they were preparing for him, and he just wasn't ready at that time. But yeah, he is their biggest fumble because if you look at the potential of what Mystico could have been, especially you look at merchandise and everything, he's their biggest fumble. And then he just turned out not to be so good in the ring either at that time.
Do you think that WWE really has a chance to sign Penta?
Oh yeah, I think he's always been wanting to go to WWE. I think for Penta, that's like a dream. I think you gotta understand where Penta's at too in his career. He's done everything he could. I think Penta's at that point. He's looking at this. I want to make my name bigger when I go back to Mexico run. Because that's where a lot of these luchadors make most of their money on the back end is the run after being a major star. Like, yes, Pentagon's a major star in Mexico, and he's a big deal. But AEW is not the WWE platform. And I don't even think AEW has done a lot of shows in Mexico or done any shows in Mexico. So they haven't really tapped into that market yet. So when you go to WWE, which is on every Mexican channel and it's going to be on Netflix soon on an international level, all Penta's trying to do is trying to just boost up his resume. So for when he's done, like Penta's mindset when he goes to WWE, if I win something great, if I become bigger than what I need to be great, I just want to rack up good money. I just want to make good money. And then I am going to cash out on my post WWE retirement luchador run and make a lot of money because now I have the WWE stock like even Mystico, a lot of people forget, even though he flamed out in WWE, he was a hot commodity down there. Triple H signed him to a big deal and stuff. Look at El Patron. No matter how many times that piece of shit burns any company, they still sign him. It's because they value the WWE name out there. The WWE name is a big name to a lot of those. That's why Dolph Ziggler is their mega champion right now. That's why he's like one of their top champions is because of the WWE name and the WWE value. And that's why I feel like if you're Penta and if WWE is willing to pay for you, you're going to take that money. You're going to take that contract. You're going to be chilling. Because what is he, like 36 years old, Penta? He's going
to be 40 next year. He's 39.
Okay, so he's 40. So yeah, when you're turning 40, and let's be real, if you're 40 years old, you're looking at the AEW lifestyle, and especially the matches AEW expects Penta to perform. It's not like Penta's going to go fucking easy in these AEW matches. Like when have you seen Penta take a break in the AEW match? In WWE, he doesn't need to do all that. Penta can just wrestle his normal lucha style without having to do crazy thumbtacks and everything. Because Penta's just that type of guy. He'll always go hard. So that's why I feel like, with Pentagon and especially with AEW and AEW, I feel like, he's I'm sure he's appreciative of the time there. AEW did a lot with Pentagon, but also I feel like AEW should look at Pentagon and say, hey, we did good business with you, but it is time to move on because, look, at the end of the day, what is Penta going to do for you overall number-wise? Like, Pentagon Jr., his ceiling is where he's at. He is what he is in All Elite Wrestling. That's not an insult. That's just a fact. Pentagon Jr. is never going to reach that same level as he was back in like Lucha Underground days. And you're never going to use him as that main guy in AEW. Why pay him a high 6-figure, low 7-figure contract when you could probably use that money elsewhere? And I feel that he should use that money elsewhere. And I feel Penta, I feel like he wants to really just cash out. That's Penta at this point.
You could use him in a few ways. You could use him in Mexico and let him build up his name, or build up your brand name and be a really good brand ambassador. You could, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm thinking about trying to sign like next generation of luchadors and showing them, hey, you're not just going to have to fight people who look like you. Like the issue that Andrade had, where he's like, why are the Hispanic and Latinos just fighting Hispanic and Latinos? Right. And this man has this big fanfare to coming back and not really doing too much. If I were Penta and I'm getting my daughter ready for the ring, I don't know if I would do WWE just because of their history of, how can I say this in a nice way? Of lying. If I'm Penta, I'm super conservative about my family's safety and all that.
They nepo hired Dominic.
It's not that. I'm worried about that mask.
Oh no, they're gonna keep the mask on him. He's not gonna take it off.
See, we think that. However, if
Santos wanted to take off his mask. That was a different thing.
If you want to pop a ring, your advertisers or somebody says you have to do it, who you gonna?
I think Penta's gonna. I think there's a reason why WWE is doing a lot of business with Netflix, because Netflix has no chill and is a less stricter network than a lot of networks. I think that's, and same with CW. Penta's built for CW network. That he looks like a villain I would see on the Arrow TV show. Like Penta's perfect.
Now, see, I also would want them to run back Io Sky and Kairi Sane. I want that interaction because that was one of the best luchador matches like I've ever seen on Lucha Underground. He was just running around trying to break everybody's neck, and they were like, "You ain't breaking our arms, we breaking you." Like that's what I want to see, but WWE's not really allowing that. So I don't. And then it's like a lot of people don't seem to understand he and Phoenix can both speak English really well. They just
I think Penta doesn't want to speak. It's a smart strategy. It's not to do so and stuff. It's a very smart strategy. You have to do less interviews, less media. Maybe that has hurt him in his AEW run, is the fact that he doesn't want to speak his English.
Like when Phoenix was cutting the promo to the camera after the match, in perfect English, I'm over. Everybody's like, he can speak English. Yes, you dumbass. He's been able to do. You people just don't seem to understand.
So we waited, but Anika's not going to make it. So let's just go ahead and do this. It's going to be Sammy versus Chase. CM, I know you got to go, so you're more than welcome to go.
Good to see you again, Chase.
Good to see you.
I wanted to bring up two things. One, in the last 10 years, I think that AJ Styles is the only person who skipped NXT.
Well, now Tama Tonga, and then Tonga Law, and Jacob Batu.
Good point.
Cody. I mean, we could say Cody. Cody's kind of
Cody.
skipped it. We could kind of say Cody. I mean, they could have punished him like they did to Sean Spears and Ethan Page.
But on Hey EW, the interview show that AEW does,
Yeah.
They had Penta on there, and he made it clear, like, my mouthpiece isn't leaving. Like, if you want to leave, you can leave, but he stays.
Speaking of Alex Abrahantes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I mean that's one of the funnier shows. I like that AEW interview show. RJ City's funny, and the one with Paul White where they were in the bed, that shit had me fucking dying. All right, so Dolores is going to be here to kind of judge and score, but she's in the chat because she's stuck to this night is slowly broken down. But we'll play this game anyhow. I'll go ahead and bring it up and show you guys what we're looking at. So this is roughly what we're looking at. There's 5 categories. There's 10 questions per category. I assume there was going to be a little more people. The way we're going to do this is I was trying to figure out the best way to do this, either because I want to do it kind of Jeopardy style, where the winner, the person that answers the question, gets to pick the next question and the point amount, because the point amount, they equal the question. So the 10th question is worth 10 points. So, but Dolores seemed to think the easiest way was for you guys to just kind of shout your name out, or say Chase or say Sammy, or because I would say raise your hand or something, but I guess let's try shouting our name out and we'll see. Hopefully we don't have too much discrepancy between who's shouting their name out first. Get the chance. Dolores, yeah, she's in the chat, so she's going to ultimately rule, and she's going to keep track of the score. So let's see. To get it started, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10. The person that's closest goes first. So go ahead, Sammy. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 10.
6.
Eight.
Chase? The number was 3. So technically Sammy is closer, I guess. So Sammy would go first. Laura said she's here. So I guess, Sammy, go ahead and just let me know. Hold on. Let me just bring this up on my end. Oh, I hit the wrong button, of course. Give me 1 sec. Let me know where you want to start. I tried as best I could to get the harder questions, what I think are the harder questions, down at the lower bottom, at the higher points, obviously, but I can't guarantee that some of them are simpler than others and some of them might be a little out of place. But go ahead and choose a category. You can see up here. So just to let the people know, there's WrestleMania 1. So we're talking the very first WrestleMania ever. Then we've got 80s era. We've got Royal Rumble, which is all Royal Rumbles, just a general Royal Rumble questions about the Royal Rumble in general WCW questions, and then 90s era wrestling. And when it comes to 80s and 90s, it can be it's not just WWF or WWE, it can be anywhere. So let's see. Sammy, go ahead and make the first selection. Oh, you'll see when it happens. It'll pop up with the question first on the screen, and then, like we said, we'll go ahead and shout out your name, and we'll see if we can make it work without everyone shouting out at the same time.
All right. Well, I'll go 90s era, and I'll go number 7.
All right. So in theory, I should be able to do this. And that is the question. Who did Stone Cold Steve Austin defer? All right, go ahead, Chase.
Shawn Michaels.
All right. Let's find out if he is correct.
He's correct. I have a T-shirt for it.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, originally I thought if he wasn't correct, we could have somebody, but I wouldn't know. We won't know until we change the answer. So Chase gets the first 7 points. Dolores, I assume, is keeping track of that, and this is roughly how we'll do that. So that seemed to work fine. So Chase, because you got it right, you would go ahead and pick the next category and the point value.
Let's do WCW 5 points.
All right. So here we go. Who was the last WWC World Heavyweight Champion before the company was purchased by WWE?
Oh, fuck.
Sammy?
All right. Sammy, who is it?
I believe it was Booker T.
Okay. I wish there was some way I should have had the answer separate on a piece of paper so that I could have said no, and then we could have Chase had another chance, but I didn't do that. So let's see if that is the correct answer. Yes, the answer is indeed Booker T. So Sammy is correct. So that's 5 points for Sammy. Let me just make sure that Dolores is. I'm just checking on. Okay, so 5 for Sammy. And so go ahead and Sammy make the next selection. What
Let's
category?
go Royal Rumble 8 points.
Royal Rumble 8 points. All right. Who won the first ever Royal Rumble match
Chase.
in 1988? Go ahead, Chase. Who was it?
Oh, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Come on. That's why
That
he always
is
came out
indeed-
Royal Rumble season.
That is indeed correct. It was
That's why
Hacksaw
that
Jim
dude,
Duggan.
he lived off that, man. That was his one paycheck a year.
All right, so that's another 8 points for Chase. I believe it looks like Dolores is marking in the chat, so it looks like she's got Sammy. Okay, so Chase, Sammy. Okay, and then she'll get Chase's 8 here in just a sec.
Okay.
All right, so go ahead and make your next selection, Chase.
I'll go with WrestleMania 1, 5 points.
All right. Which famous musician performed "America the Beautiful" to open WrestleMania 1?
Oh, I know who did WrestleMania 3. I don't know who did WrestleMania 1.
I'll give you guys a couple seconds or so, unless you guys absolutely don't know. Well, like 5 more seconds.
Whitney
5.
Houston.
I'll go
That
Tina
is
Turner.
Both of those are incorrect. It is Cyndi Lauper.
Oh, really?
Like I said, I know who did WrestleMania 3. I don't know who did WrestleMania 1.
All right, so no points for that one, but I think that was Chase that picked WrestleMania backwards.
I thought
So,
WrestleMania 1 would have been too early for that, but yeah, I suppose that's right.
So default Chase, you get to go again. Or Chase, it's still your turn.
Yeah, Royal Rumble 5 points then.
All right, let's see here. Which Royal Rumble match did The Rock win to earn his first WWE Championship opportunity?
Chase.
Go ahead.
WrestleMania, Royal Rumble 2000. He eliminated the Big Show last. It was a great moment. Benoit copied it in 2004 afterwards.
All right, you know what? Okay, that works. Let's see. Yep, that is absolutely correct. So that's 5 points for Chase. Let's see. Perfect. It looks like Dolores is following right along. All right, so Chase, go ahead. Make your next selection.
You know what? I'm gonna go with WCW at 6 points.
WCW for 6 points. All right. Which WCW pay-per-view event was held annually in October? It was known for its spooky and Halloween-themed matches. Go ahead, Sammy.
Halloween Havoc.
All right. That is 100% correct. 6 points for Sammy. That question's probably not quite valued. Shouldn't be valued at 6 points. Probably more 1 or 2. But it is what it is. Sammy, go ahead. Make your next pick.
Let's go WCW for 7.
WCW for 7 points. What is Sting's real name?
Sammy.
Chase.
Who said it first? Was it Sammy just by a hair? It sounded almost like Sammy by a hair.
It was close. We'll see what Dolores says.
Dolores, was it Sammy or Chase? Who said it first? Gotta. CM says it was Sammy.
Steve Borden.
All right, that is 100% correct. All right, so
Dolores says the opposite.
Did she? Oh, okay. Well, I guess we had our first. Sammy, go ahead. You got control of the board, I guess.
Let's go WCW 8.
All right. Which WCW wrestler was known for his high-flying
Chase.
style and was often called? Go ahead, Chase.
Dean Malenko.
Dean Malenko. That is correct for
That would have been a
points.
that would have been a tough one if no one read it, because Jericho, man of 1,004 holds.
Yes. I was wondering if that was going to throw somebody off. So, all right, Chase, you got control of the board.
WrestleMania 1. Let's do a 10-pointer. Let's get one 10-pointer out of the way.
All right. Who did Ricky Steamboat defeat at WrestleMania 1?
Sammy.
All right, go ahead. Who is it?
I'm going to go with Roddy Piper on this.
You know what I'll do here in this situation? I'll give you both an opportunity to answer, and if either of you get it right, you get the points.
I'm going to go with Chase, I'm going to go with Ted DiBiase.
All right, so Sammy has Roddy Piper, and Chase has $1 Million Man.
Matt
Was
Bourne.
Matt?
Oh man, Matt Bourne. I remember his career.
All right, since nobody got it right, Chase, you're still in control of the board.
Yeah.
That was no
great
points.
to get rid of that because I knew that would be tough to get one. Let's go with Royal Rumble for 10 points.
All right, Royal Rumble, 10 points. Who holds the record for the longest time spent in a single
Chase.
Royal Rumble match? Go ahead, Chase.
Does it count women or does it count men, women?
It's men. It's men. It's men.
Men Rumble. Does this count the greatest Royal Rumble?
I believe so.
So you're counting the greatest Royal Rumble that happened in Saudi Arabia.
So here's I'll give you, this is 100%. These are chat AI generated questions. So,
okay,
I didn't actually research this. So.
I don't know who they're gonna. So the person who holds the record for the longest Royal Rumble in the January one, I believe is Gunther. But to handicap, I am going to say Bryan Daniel Bryan, because he does hold the record from the greatest Royal Rumble record.
All right, so yeah, Gunther. Let's see what
I'm
the
gonna go
answer is.
Mysterio.
You're going Rey Mysterio?
I believe it's Rey
That's
Mysterio.
Okay, so you've got Chase has Gunther and/or Bryan Danielson, and Sammy has Rey Mysterio. Let's see who it actually is for 10 points. It is indeed
really?
Rey Mysterio.
Let me
1 hour,
check
2
this.
minutes, 12 seconds. The 2006 Royal Rumble.
And Bailey holds the record for women.
All right, so that's 10 points for Sammy.
The only reason I remember this is because they spout it off like 20,000 times every year.
When they do they go through all the little statistics for the Rumble. All right, Sammy, you got control of the board.
WCW 9.
All right, working our way down here. Who was the first WCW Cruiserweight Champion?
Oh, the first.
Chase, Jushin Thunder Liger. I'm just going to go with Jushin. He's the only guy
I guess
I was actually about to say that, but instead I'll go Eddie Guerrero, just be having an answer.
All right, let's see who it is. I kind of like the way this is working with both of you guys giving an answer, and whoever gets it gets a point. So, and if nobody doesn't, it works the other way. All right,
Watch it be Ultimo Dragon.
Oh,
answer. Brian Pillman. All right, so no points for there. Sammy, you still have control of the board.
Let's go WCW 10.
WCW 10 points. All right. Which tag team won the WCW World Tag Team Championships from Harlem Heat at Halloween Havoc 1995, only to lose it back to Harlem Heat later that same night?
Chase. No, wait. They want to be in the call. Yeah,
see, I'm saying really to the question. I don't know if you're saying CM to the question or not. Really to the question. All right, go ahead. Chase.
I forgot that they're probably not in the company at this point, but I was going to say the Hollywood Blondes, but I don't think they're in the company at this point.
All right, Sammy, do you have at least a guess here?
Was it the Nasty Boys?
All right, we got the Hollywood Blondes and the Nasty Boys. Let's see what this answer says here. Buff Bagwell and Scotty Riggs, the American Males.
No.
So, all right. No
that
points
one was
for
worth
guy.
10 points. That one was worth 10. Ooh.
All right, Sammy, go ahead. You still got control of the board. 2 more 10-point questions left.
All right.
Yes.
So, by the way, I was trying to fact check. This AI is wrong because Gunther is 1 hour, 11 minutes, and 40 on WWE.com's time for the longest one. So it's no longer.
And he beat it this year.
All right, so then I guess let's go ahead and take off the points for Sammy for that. Or I guess technically Chase got it right.
In 2023. I just want to double check because I remember they were asking.
Oh, that was
about
last
Gunther.
year?
Yeah, that's because they were hyping up because Gunther came in at number 1 last year. And then I remember he lasted all the way to Cody against 30. And then him and Cody, and then him and Cody, once they hit the hour mark, had like that 11-minute mini match and stuff.
Right.
That's why I was shocked when it said Rey Mysterio. I was like, I could have swore. That's why I was fact checking. That wasn't cheating.
No, that's
trust me. Otherwise, I would have gotten all the other answers correct if I wanted to.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I didn't realize
So Dolores, let's make that change and switch the points from Sammy to Chase, because technically he had Gunther, which is the right answer. So, and that was, yeah, okay. So in the meantime, where were we at? Was Sammy about to pick a category?
Yeah,
or
I'll go 98.
90. Say that again?
90s era, 8
Oh,
points.
we said 98. It threw me off for a second. All right,
98.
let's see. All right, let's see. At King of the Ring 1996, who did Jake the Snake Roberts defeat in the finals to win the tournament?
Well, the AI is wrong on this one, Chase. They should have said, who did Stone Cold defeat in the finals to win the tournament? He defeated Jake the Snake Roberts. You can say your problems, you can say your prayers. Austin 316 said, I just kicked your ass.
The answer is actually Big Van Vader.
What?
Jason, oh, sorry, Sammy, I didn't let you pick the answer. Would
It's
you
cool.
pick Vader?
No.
Okay. All right, so no points for that one. So let's see, Sammy, technically, Sammy, go ahead. You're still in control of the board, I guess,
Let's
because
go
it's the last.
99.
All right. 90s era for 9 points. Who did Alondra Blaze Medusa defeat to win her second women's championship at
Chase.
SummerSlam in 1990? Go ahead.
The new recent WWE Hall of Famer, Bull Nakano.
All right. Sammy, do you have an answer, or is that your answer as well?
I'll go the cat.
All right.
Why not?
Chase is absolutely correct for 9 points at Bull Nakano. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so yeah, I forget now. Dolores wanted to know how many points that question was. Okay, it was 10 points. CM. Luckily, CM's paying attention too. All right, so Chase, you got control of the board.
Let's do 80s era for 10 points. We got to get at least
80s era for 10 points. All right. What was the signature catchphrase of Jesse the Body Ventura during his commentary in the 1980s?
I just remember him saying gorilla. Does gorilla? I'm just gonna say gorilla. He's like, you idiot gorilla! Come on, gorilla! And like, I just remember gorilla.
Sammy, you got something at least just to put something in?
Was it something about cheating?
Let's see what it actually is. Win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat.
Does that count?
I guess let's let Dolores make a ruling on that. Dolores, does that count? We'll give her a second to respond. Let's see if that counts. If saying cheating is enough. No, Dolores says it is not. So no points for anybody on that one.
Sorry, I wasn't
All
alive.
right. All right, Chase, you got control of the board still. We got one more 10-point question down there in the 90s.
Yeah, why not? Let's get rid of the last 10-point question.
All right, let's see. Which tag team won the first ever WWF Tag Team Championship at WrestleMania 12? This is for 10 points.
Really?
I guess since you're both just giving answers, you guys probably don't have to shout your names. Just both give an answer, and if either you get it right, you get the points, and if not, the person continues on.
I'm trying to think of these. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing. Let's see, it's been 12. Oh, wow.
It's interesting the things you know, because I swear when you were on here before, Jason, we were doing the round robin for Name That Superstar, and it was like WrestleManias given to me. You named like all the main events, like it was like WrestleMania 1 main event, Mania 2 main event, Mania 3 main event, Mania 4, and you knew them all, but you don't know this match from 12. That's funny.
Yeah, it's a random, because I'm trying to use, because like 12 is such a, it's just a random. Let's see, Bret Hart. But I'm trying to think of who were tag teams at that time. Like, who are just random tag teams. Like,
all right, how about like 5 more seconds, and then you guys got to at least give me something so we can move on here.
I am going. I'm just gonna throw a good old Nation of Domination. They're my go-to. I try to remember stuff.
Nation of Domination. All right, Sammy, who you
Good
got?
old Nation.
I think the match was the Godwins versus the Body Donnas. I don't know who won. I'll go Bonnie Donnas.
It is indeed the Body Donnas.
I would have let the Godwins win if I was the one booking, because who knows Skip and Sip? I remember the tag team name. I could, if you put a gun to my head, I never would have guessed it was Skip and Zip that were the actual names of the wrestlers in it.
All right, so that's 10 points for Sammy, and Sammy is in control of the board. So what are we doing
Chase's
next?
answer. It should have been the Nation. It should have been the Nation.
I was thinking of some random tag team. I was like, oh wow, that's even more random than I thought.
All right, Sammy, where are we going next?
Let's go Royal Rumble for 9 points.
All right, Royal Rumble 9 points. Which two wrestlers were declared co-winners at the 1999? All right, go ahead.
It would be Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart.
All right, since he did shout it out, and that's originally how we were doing it, and they feel pretty confident, we'll go ahead and there you go. All right, 9 points for Chase. And Chase is in control of the board.
All right. Let's do Royal Rumble for 7.
Royal Rumble for 7. Who won the Royal Rumble match in 1992 and became WWE champion as a result? Go ahead.
With a tear in my eye, Ric Flair did. Woo! Hulk Hogan helped him, by the way. People don't want to remember that Hogan did help him. It was the most corniest thing Hogan's ever done. Fuck him.
All right, 7 more points for Chase. All right. Where are we going next? Chase is in control of the board.
Let's go Rumble at 6 points.
Rumble at 6 points. Moving up the ladder. Who holds the record for the most eliminations in a single Royal Rumble match?
Chase.
All right, go ahead. Who is it?
My tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Unless Gunther beat that record too or something. I wouldn't be surprised. After Royal Rumble, I could actually get that after this question.
I guess just to be different, I'll go with Lesnar, just to be devil's advocate.
That's true, Lesnar, that 1 year.
Oh, it's counting the world's greatest, right? This is world's greatest Rumble.
It must be. Is this the world's greatest Rumble?
Mm-hmm. He did. No, let's see. I'm looking right now because this website has the most eliminations for each in a single match. Men's record. Technically, Sammy's right. Lesnar did have 13. Reigns had 12. Lesnar had
Braun.
13.
It says Braun with 13. So
no,
is it Braun and Brock
let me check
in
2018 most eliminations Royal Rumble by year. So, yeah, Braun was the greatest. Lesnar's was the 2020 Men's Rumble, where he entered number 1 and he's taking everyone out until Drew and Ricochet double teamed him. So, technically, Sammy got the point there.
Okay, so Sammy gets 6 points because really it's both Braun and Brock tied for that number.
Yeah, well, because at the greatest Royal Rumble, Strowman got 13. Lesnar got 13 in the actual Royal Rumble. And I think we're going with the actual Royal Rumble.
So 6 points for Sammy, and Sammy, you're in control of the board.
90s era for 6 points.
All right. At WrestleMania 10, who did Owen Hart defeat in the opening match? Go ahead.
Bret Hart.
All right.
Bret the Hitman Hart.
Sammy, do you have an answer if you think it's different, or is that the answer?
I believe that's the answer, brother versus brother.
Yeah. That is good. So Chase gets 6 points and control of the board.
Let's go with Royal Rumble 4 points.
All right, Royal Rumble 4 points. Who holds the record for the shortest time spent in the Royal Rumble match? And now clearly because they did, we know that Braun was included. Obviously, they're including the greatest Royal Rumble. So go ahead, Sammy.
Santino Marella.
Chase, do you have another answer? Or do you know? Okay.
I'm gonna say
it is Santino Marella, who was eliminated in 1 second in 2009. So 4
Yes.
points for Sammy, and control of the board goes back to Sammy.
Let's go WCW 4 points.
All right. Questions. Let's see. Which pay-per-view event did WCW debut the match type known as War Game?
Sammy?
Chase, Starcade.
Well, I think Sammy said his name first, but Chase said the answer.
Yeah.
Ah.
Can we just both share the points?
Yeah, how about 2
Oh,
points
man.
each? How's that?
All right, that's fine.
But actually, no, wait, hold on. This says it's the Great American Bash, and Chase said Starcade. So technically, Chase is wrong.
Oh,
No.
well,
So he jumped
we both
Sammy's
get
in.
0 points then.
Were you going to say Starcade, Sammy?
I was going to say Starcade, yeah.
Okay, so 0 points. And this question
Mhm.
is no points for anybody. Sammy, you were in control of the board, so you stay in control of the board.
90s era 4 points.
90s era 4 points. All right. Who was the manager of The Undertaker when he
Sammy.
Go ahead.
It was Ted DiBiase.
Sammy seems unsure. Chase, do you have an answer?
I don't think you should be unsure. I think it was Ted DiBiase, original manager, taking for a ball bearer.
All right, let's see. It indeed was
Bruce
Bruce
Pritchard.
Pritchard, his brother Love. So no points
That's
for
right.
anybody there. And Sammy, you still in control of the board with the last correct answer. So
I will say that when he was in WCW, he was managed by Paulie Dangerously. All right. So let's go 80s era 5 points.
80s era 5 points. All right. Which famous tag team partners faced each other in the opening match at WrestleMania 1?
Sammy.
Go ahead.
Oh. I'm going to go with Randy Savage and Hulk Hogan.
Okay. So he's got the mega powers going in. That's
I
Go
don't
ahead.
remember what it was.
I remember the team was Strike Force, I think. Tito Santana, but I don't know who his partner was. So I'm just going to go with
All
Strike
right.
Force.
All right. Let's see who it was. They didn't say the name, but it was Strike Force, Tito Santana and the Executioner.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 5 points for Chase, and control the board back to Chase.
90s era, 5 points.
90s era, 5 points. All right. Which two wrestlers competed in the first ever Hell in a
Chase.
Cell match? Go ahead.
Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker. And then what about Kane? He debuted. That's got to
All
be
right.
Kane.
It's got to be.
Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels, indeed. So 5 points for Chase, and you remain in control of the board.
Let's go with 90s era, 3 points.
All right. Who did Bret Hart defeat in the I Quit match at WrestleMania 13?
Chase.
All right, go ahead.
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The answer is indeed Stone Cold Steve Austin. So Chase for another 3 points. It stays in control of the board. We got 2 more questions in the 90s era.
Let's go 2 points for the 90s era.
All right. What was the name of the stable led by Shawn Michaels and Triple H in the late 90s?
Chase.
No, I think Chase got it first.
All right, Chase, go ahead.
D-Generation X.
D-Generation X. That is indeed correct. All right, so 2 more points for Chase. Let's just make sure that she's getting, Dolores looks like she's getting them all. 2 more for Chase. Chase has been on a little bit of a run here. So go ahead, Chase. You're in control of the board. 1 more.
90s era, 1 point.
All right, last question in the 90s era. Who was the longest reigning WWF Intercontinental Champion
Chase.
in the 90s? Go ahead, Chase.
He's a honky-tonk man. He's a honky-tonk man.
That is indeed 100% correct for 1 point. Honky
That
Tonk
should have
Man is the
been-
right
that should have been in
answer.
the middle. That's a harder question than a lot of the middle ones.
All right, so no more 90s era. That's off the board. That leaves us WrestleMania 1, 80s era, Royal Rumble, and WCW. Where are we going, Chase?
Royal Rumble, 3 points.
Royal Rumble, 3 points. Which Royal Rumble match featured the surprise return of Edge?
Chase.
Go ahead.
Royal Rumble 2010, he eliminated John Cena at the end. He came out, but Shawn Michaels, he was trying to go for the run, Batista eliminated him.
Oh, I'm sorry.
what?
I should have waited for
It was
Sam.
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
sorry,
2010
Sammy, that's my
also
bad.
2010 also counts. He was injured at that time. Edge came back and won the 2010 Rumble.
Does it show what the hold on, let's see. The question was after lengthy absence due to
Yeah,
injury.
he was out. He was out a long time after he tore his fibia. He was out for a long time. This is something you can look up. This is not. He was out as long as the 20. Yeah.
I think they're just. I think they thought that maybe that 7 or 8, 9 years, whatever it was.
Wait,
with the neck
did they say? Wait, go back. Did they say to win the Rumble? Oh, I thought surprise return of Edge. I thought it meant he won the Rumble.
Surprise return of Edge after a lengthy Rumble.
Yeah.
Not the win.
So they should have, because to be fair, Edge gets injured a lot. They should have said due to, because let's be real. The Rumble he also won in 2021. He was also injured with the tricep, and he came back and won that one. So that's why. Right. That's why I'm trying to say this one should have said due to retirement, not injury.
Also, I was struggling trying to think, was it 2020 or 2021? 2020 or 2021? You said 2010, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to guess one of these two, and oh, nope, guess not.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess let's just do no points since there was a little bit of whatever.
That was a confusing one with that one. It just said due to retirement, because then that makes more sense, because Edge was injured 3 separate times coming back to a Rumble.
All right, so Chase, you're still in control of the board.
2 points for Royal Rumble.
All right. Which female wrestler won the first ever women's Royal Rumble match in 2018?
Chase.
Go ahead.
No one's ready for Asuka.
Sammy, is that? Right. The answer is indeed Asuka for 2 points.
Shinsuke Nakamura and Asuka won those Rumbles. Crazy.
And then got her butt beat by Charlotte.
No one got it. Yep. 2 points for Chase on that last one. And Chase is in control of the board. One more question in Royal Rumble.
Yeah, let's kill Royal Rumble right now.
All right. Let's knock it out. Which WWE Hall of Famer holds the record for the most Royal Rumble match victories?
Chase.
Go ahead.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, 3.
Right.
Isn't it a tie?
Oh yeah, Hogan also. Yeah, I think Hogan also has it too.
And Shawn Michaels as well.
Shawn Michaels only has 2. He has 95.
He does?
Yeah, he has 2 back to back. Yeah, Michaels is back to back with Austin, but Hogan. I think Hogan does that because I thought Austin had the most.
I thought it was a tie. All right.
97, 98, 2000.
So is your answer Austin?
Austin's my answer.
You got to go with Austin on this answer.
Yeah.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, 97, 98, and 2001.
Soon Cody Rhodes getting that list.
So 1 point for Chase, and that ends out the Royal Rumble category. 3 categories left. Where are we going, Chase?
Let's kill WCW just like that TV show did. 3 points.
Who was the founder and first president of WCW?
Sammy.
Go ahead, Sammy.
Ted Turner.
Do you want to take a guess, Chase, just to...
I'm going to say someone named Jack Gallagher or something. That one wrestler back in the day.
Sammy is indeed correct. Ted Turner for 3 points and control of the board. Sammy, where are we going next?
WCW for 1 point.
Ooh, all right. Switch it up. Who was the leader of the 4 Horsemen stable of WCW? Sammy said it for. Go ahead, Sammy.
Ric Flair.
That is indeed correct for 1 point. So 1 point for Sammy and control of the board. Where are we going?
Wow, let's go WCW 2 points.
All right. What was the name of WCW's
Chase.
I think Chase edged me out there.
Chase edged it out just a little bit. Go
Monday
ahead, Chase.
Night Nitro.
That is correct. 2 points for Chase. And that's the end of the WCW category. Now you guys got to go into the 80s. I know you guys have been dreading it. It's 80s era and WrestleMania 1, but we got to do it. Where are we going?
WrestleMania 1 for 9 points.
All right, Chase. Let's see. For 9 points. Who were the hosts of the first WrestleMania?
Sammy.
Go ahead.
Cyndi Lauper and Lou Albino. I'm probably saying his name wrong.
Captain Lou and Cyndi Lauper. Chase, do you have an answer? Just
Muhammad Ali.
Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse the Body.
Those are the commentators. No, I was going more like what Sammy was saying.
Thinking,
yeah.
Miz does.
I was honestly too.
That's
all right,
crazy.
So No points for anybody. So, Sammy, you're still in control of the board. Or Chase, I'm sorry. That was Chase. It was Chase that was in control. Sorry.
WrestleMania 1 for 8 points.
All right. Who won the match between King Kong Bundy and
Chase.
Special Delivery Jones? Go ahead.
King Kong Bundy was being built up to face Hogan the next year. Come on.
That is correct.
Plus, there was one guy on Romeo's stream. He really wanted us to watch this match. We at 1 a.m, we were watching King Kong Bundy
versus fucking Special Delivery Jones.
I was like,
well, I can tell you there's nothing special about my delivery.
Yeah.
All right, Chase, you're in control of the board. That was 8 points for Chase. Where are we going next?
WrestleMania 1, 7 points.
All right. Who was the special guest referee for the main event? Go ahead, Chase.
Muhammad Ali.
This is where that answer is correct. That is 100% correct. 7 points for Chase. And he remains in control of the board. Going right up the ladder still?
Yeah, 6 points.
All right, 6 points. Who did Andre the Giant face in a match at WrestleMania 1?
It could be any name on this. It could literally be. I'm gonna go. Was he wrestling a big name at this one? I can't remember if they had him in the big name match. I'm gonna go with Greg the Hammer Valentine. I feel like that's a name they would have Andre face at this time. Maybe Greg the Hammer's still kicking. I don't know at this point, but I don't know why Andre versus Greg the Hammer. That feels like WrestleMania 1. That feels like
all right. Sammy, do you at least have you got a guess here?
I mean, I know it wasn't Hulk Hogan.
Oh shit! What was it? That one other old fuck that they had? I think I know who it is actually. I want to say it's Big John Studd actually, not Greg the Hammer Valentine. I want to say it's Big John Studd.
All right, so he switches the answer to Big John Studd. Sammy, you got to give me something at least. You don't. I mean,
I'm going with Big John Studd. I remember me rewatching this as a little kid. It was Andre versus like a wrestling legend. I want to say it was Big John Studd, and he beats him, and that builds up Andre.
I will go with. I think you're right, so I'll go with your other answer of Greg Valentine because I think you're right with your second answer. So.
Big John Studd in the body slam challenge. All he had to do was body slam him. There was $10,000 on the line.
I had a little. I was like, he faced the name, but it wasn't like a Ted DiBiase or anything. So I was like, did he face Greg the Hammer Valentine? But then I was thinking of it. I remember, for whatever reason, I was remembering the commentary saying Andre the Giant versus Big John Studd, and that's why this match sounded more badass than it did. And that built up the whole Hulk and Hogan body slam Andre gimmick and stuff like that.
This is one of the dumbest ones because this was Big John Studd, who's smaller than Andre the Giant, says, I have $10,000 that Andre can't body slam me. Mm-hmm. And really, like, Andre's going to body slam you, dude. Like, so, but yes, so that's 6 points for Chase and remains in control of the board.
WrestleMania 1 for 4 points.
All right. What year was WrestleMania
Chase.
1? Go ahead.
So if WrestleMania 40 is 2024, we just have to subtract the years, and it would be 1984.
1980 what?
1984.
Sammy, do you want to? We'll just go ahead and show it, because. Go ahead. What were you going to say, Sammy? Go ahead.
I would say 85.
Wow, really? It was 85. Oh, I guess, yeah.
All right. So Sammy gets the 4 points to control the board. Where are we going, Sammy?
80s era, 6 points.
80s era, 6 points. All right. Who did Hulk Hogan defeat to win his first WWE? Go ahead.
The Iron Sheik, the Sheiky baby. The Hulk Hogan saved us from Iran.
Iron Sheiky baby is correct. 6 points for Chasey. Look. What? Okay, people, please. I'm not sure exactly what that means. Let's see. Sorry, I got to bring this back up. All right, let's see here. Iron Sheik. All right, so Chase, you're in control.
Can I go with WrestleMania again for 3 points?
All right. Who won the main event at WrestleMania 1? The main event match at WrestleMania 1. Go ahead.
Hulk Hogan and Mr. T. Oh no, Hulk Hogan and Mr. Wonder. Was Paul Orndorff in that match? I know Hulk Hogan won. Paul Orndorff had to win too. Mr. Wonderful was in that match. Jimmy Snuka, he was pulled from it, right? Was that the incident with Jimmy Snuka? Oh my god, I can't.
Yeah, Jimmy Snuka was in it.
Was he in it? I'm gonna go with Hulk Hogan and Mr. Wonderful. That's my answer. Not Mr.
No,
T was he in it?
Mr. T.
Oh, they fought against Mr. Wonderful. I'm combining Hulk Hogan's enemies because it was Piper and Mr. Wonderful, Paul Orndorff.
And Cowboy Bob.
Yes, Rowdy Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
Yeah, Cowboy was
Hulk Hogan and Mr.
Cowboy was on the outside, and Jimmy Snuka was on the outside.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that was a little bit of a all over the place, so we'll just call that no points. Technically he said Hogan, but then it kind of went a little off straight. So
I got confused. I thought Mr. Orndorff was a babyface at this time.
Was that Sammy? That was 80s era, or was that WrestleMania? That was WrestleMania 3 for 3 points, right? So Chase still in control.
WrestleMania 1 for 2 points.
All right. Just double check real quick, make sure that it looks like Doris is all good. All right. So for 2 points, what was the attendance?
Attendance of WrestleMania?
WWE's making this shit up. What was this match?
An exact number?
Let's do this. Who gets closest to the actual number gets the 2 points.
I want to say approximately 10,000.
Can I go over?
You let's just say whatever the closest without going over. How's that? Closest over. without going over.
Well, that makes it easier. All I have to do is say 2001.
I guess technically that's true, unless I suppose that's true. I guess just closest then. If you want to go over, go over. Just use ever actually close.
It's going to be somewhere between 18 to 20,000. I don't know exactly where, so I'll go ahead and say 18,000 because
they claim it was 19,121. Wow.
WWE was not that popular at that time. They're capping.
All right, so Sammy was closest for 2 points. So Sammy, you're in control of the board. Just one more question for WrestleMania 1, and then we still got almost the whole 80s era.
No, 80s era, 7 points.
All right. What was the name of Jake the Snake Roberts' pet python? For 7 points. Oh, come on, you guys. You're making me feel really old. This one's easy. Like, this would be an easy one.
Chase, was it Damien?
Oh.
That is that is correct. It was Damien.
What'd you say? No, it clicks into my head. Yeah.
Chase for 7 points and control of the board. All right, where are we going?
80s era, 9 points.
80s era, 9 points. Which tag team was known for their colorful face paint and high flying style in the 1980s? Go ahead.
Road Warriors.
Chase, you got an answer?
They would be the only ones that fit that mold of high flying style.
That is correct. It is indeed the Road Warriors, a.k.a. Legion of Doom. So 9 points for Sammy Joe and taking control of the board. Where are we going here, Sammy?
80s era, 4 points.
80s era, 4 points. Who was the WWE, then WWF World Heavyweight Champion at the beginning of the 1980s?
Chase.
Go ahead, Chase.
Was it Bob Backlund?
Sammy, do you have an answer or no?
I'd say Pedro.
All right, let's see. It is indeed Bob Backlund. Chase is correct. 4 points for Chase, and he retains control of the board.
Let's go with the 8-pointer.
All right. Who famously managed both Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff in the WWF?
Chase.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna say Bobby the Brain. This is like the cheat code answer, right? He managed everyone, right?
Right.
I didn't know anybody managed Rowdy Roddy Piper, honestly.
All right. So let's see if Chase is correct.
Oh, classic
Classy
Freddie
Freddie Blassie. All right. So no points for that one. We're down to the last 4 questions in this game. It's kind of interesting not knowing because Dolores hasn't said who's in the lead yet. So it's just kind of unknown. We'll just find out here in 4 questions. We'll find out here in 4 questions. All right. Go ahead,
He reads
Chase.
quicker than I do, so the only time I get the answer is when he has to think about the answer.
I am a speed reader. I have to speed read for my job. 80-0, 3 points.
All right. Who was Ricky Steamboat's opponent
Chase.
in their famous WrestleMania match? Go ahead, Chase.
Macho Man Randy Savage.
All right. Sammy, you concur? Yeah. You got a different answer?
Concur.
All right.
Yes,
Macho Man Randy Savage for 3 points. Chase gets another 3 points. All right. 3 questions left.
80-0, 2 points.
80-0, 2 points. Which wrestler was known as the $1 Million Man? Sammy Joe. Who is it?
Ted DiBiase.
That was Mike Rotunda.
That is correct. Sammy Joe for 2 points and control the board. 2 questions left. Where are you going? WrestleMania or 80-0?
Let's go WrestleMania. No. Let's go 80s. Let's leave WrestleMania for the end.
What was the signature finishing move of Macho Man Randy? Go ahead, Chase.
The diving elbow.
All right. The flying elbow drop. Yep, same thing. Yep. 1 point for Chase. And Chase, we're just going to bring the last question.
Yes.
Here it is. Where did WrestleMania 1 take place? Go ahead, Chase.
Oh, I might actually fumble this one. No, wait. The world famous arena, Madison Square Garden, New York City.
Yep.
Sammy, do you concur or have a different?
Absolutely,
no?
Madison Square Garden.
1 point, Madison Square Garden. So that brings us to the end of our board and the end of our game. We'll see what Dolores says. We'll give her a minute or two to tally up. Other than a couple little hitches in the Royal Rumble category, it seemed to go off pretty well. Let me rephrase that. About 75% of them were chat generated. I did like 25, and then I got really tired, and I was like, I'm done looking for these on my own. I'm just going to let the AI generate some play.
Yeah, because some of the AI ones, I was like, Rey Mysterio is not the longest anymore. And then the when it says Strowman, I was trying to think like, no, because all the Rumbles he appeared in, like the main Rumbles, he was always at 20, but he never. But by the time he entered, it was like the ring was already. I was like, how did he get 13? And then when Sammy brought out the greatest, but then I remember that Lesnar one. Thank God I had that Royal Rumble statistics page up for like to double check stuff because I always want to double check because I was just like, let me double check that one. And so Lesnar did have that 13 that 1 year where he entered at number 1. The Edge one. That one was badly worded. I'll say that one. They should have said when he came back from retirement, because then that would have made more sense.
Yep. All right, so we're just waiting on Dolores to let us know who the grand winner is. I think Sammy seems pretty confident. He feels it's Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when it comes to reading, I feel like the reading category, I will always win that because I read really fast. Sometimes it's to my detriment. Some questions I got wrong because I read too fast, but I can't. But if I do have time to think about it, Sammy does have a chance. But yes, I am a very fast reader and stuff. I read as a hobby, so.
All right, it looks like Dolores.
Like you gotta give me like 20 seconds to think of something before I say it. Otherwise, I won't say something crazy.
All right, looks like Dolores is here. Oh, here we go. All right.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Sammy got 69. He stayed on the first piece of the napkin.
69.
Chase, on the other hand, got 2 napkins full and is at 133.
Yeah, Chase 133, baby.
Wow, I didn't think the difference was going to be that much. Holy smokes. It's interesting to see when you don't actually see the scores like adding up in front of you. You just
Well,
kind
so
of like, okay.
I had a strategy with this. I was trying. So if Sammy chose a big one, my goal was choose smaller than Sammy. So that way, if I stole one of his big ones, that way, if he beat me in something, he got less amount of the points. And so, and so that was always my strategy: was take the bigger one. Let Sammy. I want to see how Sammy was going to play the board. If he decided to be aggressive and choose 7 points, that's fine. Because if I win that, I get the 7 points. I'm going to say 5, and then you can take the 5-pointer. That's totally fine because I'm still up 2 points. So that's how I played the board. I look at the board that way, and then also I knew which categories we both were like, let's stay away from those ones. And then I want, and it helped out that a lot of the big boy ones, like the 8-pointers near the end, both of us didn't know it, so it was just a total wash. It was just like, oh great, there's 8 points that Sammy cannot get at this moment of time. Even though I didn't get them, there's 8 points that I knew I couldn't get and stuff.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations. Thanks for coming on and playing as always. I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to tell everyone where to find you and so on and plug.
What the heck? Oh, yeah, you guys can, sorry about that. I think my internet went out. You guys can follow me on Twitter at ChaseLobby68, YouTube.com/Around the Point Network, and YouTube.com/Chilling with Chase. I think I'm still. Oh, you just removed everyone. I got so confused there. I was so confused. I was like, "What's going on?"
No, I was trying to give you the camera so that you just had the platform for yourself to plug all your stuff. So I didn't mean to confuse you.
I was all confused.
All right. So before we get out of here, unless Dolores wants to do it, I was going to do a little housekeeping.
I can
Dolores,
do it real quick.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you're here this Workhorse Wrestling Week, and the weekend is gonna be busy, busy, busy. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, you're gonna get aftermath of Dynamite short reviews. You're gonna get all for not short reviews. You're going to get Friday night fights, ladies and gentlemen. You're also gonna get shows on Saturday and Sunday. Make sure you hear Money in the Bank. Shout it what you think is coming on, and make sure you're here for that. Also, ladies and gentlemen, Sunday, it's going to be a heat wave. It's getting hot in this piece, okay? So you make sure you are here for these watch alongs. Also, ladies and gentlemen, you see that horse right there, that QR code? Make sure you scan that QR code. It takes you to all our social medias, everywhere you can find us there, ladies and gentlemen. Also, we're going to start back doing the Cookout podcast everywhere. I'll be working on it this week, catching up on all the episodes and putting out new episodes like today on streaming platforms such as Amazon Music, Spotify, and all the other good places we are at. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you check out social media. Again, you can catch us on Twitch, YouTube, Discord, Threads, everywhere you want to be, we are at. And all you have to do is just hit that little QR code right there. Takes you where you need to be. Simple. Open your camera for those who don't know. Scan it. Click the link at the bottom, and it'll take you everywhere you need to be. Again, thank you to our good winner, Chase, who just decided to come in and stop everybody today for coming in and helping us out here at the cookout. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, normally, as I say, it's already getting hot in here. You know, this weekend it's going to be a blaze. So, you know what we got to do? As we say in a cultured household, it's time to cut these lights out. Black screen. You see what I'm saying? So, until then, everyone have a great week and an even better weekend with Workhorse Wrestling Network. Peace.